Today, let's collect the Transformers. Hey everyone, welcome back to JP's Budget Collecting and our 29th episode of our Let's Collect series. I started this way back in 2019, did it for about a year and a half, took a long break from it, started it back finally in 2023. So yeah, today we are talking about the Transformers. Started out as toys, became a comic, then became an animated series back in the 80s. Transformers are getting a huge revival right now with the start of the Energon universe over at Image under Robert Kirkman. Daniel Warren Johnson, who's a really hot writer right now, is writing the comic. Just been a lot of buzz around this series, and this was your guys' selection for the next non-DC, non-Marvel thing that I should cover with the Let's Collect series. So we're going to be talking about Transformers today. For those new to the Let's Collect series, it's your guide to the key comics, important storylines, and fun covers for a character or series. It's not meant to be a complete guide, just a good place to start with a lot of these things, although we got a lot of stuff here to cover with Transformers, because we're going to do 15 keys today, only 5 story arcs, but another 15 covers, so we got quite a bit of stuff for you guys to look at to potentially start a Transformers collection. Now, in order to keep these videos more relevant than I used to, I have a price guide kind of thing I use instead of giving exact prices of books right now, because the market is always moving and changing. I have kind of a range that I put up using some symbols. I'm going to put that up right now. And that's really just, this is really just a way to kind of give you a range of what these books cost. So without further ado, now that we've taken care of all that up front, let's collect Transformers, and we're going to start with their key comics. Alright, let's kick off these keys with their first appearance of all the big characters. Optimus, Megatron, Bumblebee, Starscream, all came in Transformers #1 from 1984. This came out before the cartoon even started. Their second appearance was in Transformers #2. A little more affordable, but still a pretty expensive book. Next key we're going to talk about is the first appearance of Shockwave and the cameo of the Dinobots, Transformers #4. Lots of big first appearances in this early on in this first series. Transformers #8 gets us the first full appearance of those Dinobots, including Grimlock. Transformers #10 gives us the first appearance of Devastator and all his components that come up to make him. Transformers #11 gives us the first appearance of Jetfire, a character that plays an important role, kind of switching sides. Next, we're going to jump over to Transformers Magazine from the UK #78, first appearance of Galvatron. If you didn't know, these UK was coming out weekly when the US was monthly. Transformers the Movie #1 has the first appearance of RC, Unicron, and Galvatron in US Comics. G.I. Joe and Transformers #1 is the first crossover of this group. This is a book that's jumped a lot recently because of the new Energon universe. Transformers #24, The Death of Optimus from 1987, one of the bigger books in the run. Next we have Transformers #25, the first appearance of the Predacons. Again, checking off a lot of first appearances in this first run, characters that are still with us. Next we have Transformers #61. We finally get the origin of the Transformers and the origin of Cybertron. We're going to also do the updated origin, came in Transformers #1 from 2019. We finally got an updated origin of Cybertron. And now we're going to jump to Void Rivals #1, the start of this new Energon universe, and this retic and love for the Transformers that's occurring. And then Transformers #1, also their first series in this new universe that's really sparked a lot of interest in the Transformers. Okay, those were the key comics for Transformers. I will fully admit, not the huge Transformers fan, so if there's characters you feel like I missed, important books you feel like I missed, please put them down in the comments below so others will know other things to look for. Alright, with that, we're going to move on to the storylines. I've picked 5 storylines kind of from spread out pretty good throughout their history. A couple from very early on, a couple more recent story arcs, and not including this current story arc. Obviously, there's a ton of stuff to read, so this is just really a starter pack to some of their better story arcs. So, with that, let's dig into the important stories for the Transformers. Alright, so let's dig into these stories. If you're going to start Transformers, why not start at the beginning? Transformers Volume 1, 1 through 4, the original miniseries that launched the whole overall series. It's collected in Classic Transformers, Volume 1, which includes all 1 through 13. Next, we have Target 2006, which is from that UK run, where we were getting weekly Transformers stories, so a lot more stories during that period than you were getting in the US. This is considered the best of that group. Next, we have Last Stand of the Wreckers. This is a story about, the elite Autobot squad and them facing some of the price of what they do and what they've caused. Next, we have Chaos Theory, which has Optimus and Megatron having to talk to each other rather than just fight. Just a great series when Megatron gets captured and the two of them face off with words. And finally, we have More Than Meets the Eye and Lost Light. These are whole runs that were recommended a lot online as just kind of being the best runs with no war and just character development. Alright, hopefully that gives you a lot of good stuff to read, maybe some story arcs you haven't read before that you might be interested in. And that brings us to the covers. There were a ton of covers. It was really hard to kind of narrow this down because some similarity in some of these, but just a ton of choices. And I didn't want to just do all Optimus covers. I didn't do as good a job this time of doing different artists as I kind of picked my covers and then realized several of them were by the same artist, but these are spread out pretty good throughout their history. No order here other than when they were released. So we're starting oldest to newest on the release order on these covers. Not a ton of very expensive Transformers books, although there's a few, and a couple of them made this list. A couple of them did not. There's probably some that did not. These are just my favorites. Obviously, there's a lot of covers out there that you can collect. So with that, let's dig into the fun covers for Transformers. Okay, let's talk about covers. We're going to start with my favorite cover from Volume 1, number 5, this great cover of Shockwave by Mark Bright. Next, we got this great Don Figueroa cover of Transformers Generation 1, number 1. I love this wraparound cover with all the characters. Just a really cool cover for me. Next, we have Transformers All Hell Megatron, number 7. This Trevor Hutchinson cover is my favorite of his variants, although he has a lot of good ones in this run. Another Trevor Hutchinson cover, Transformers Last Stand of the Wreckers, number 1. Another great cover, also super affordable. Next, we have this Transformers number 30 from Volume 3 of Optimus. Just a great cover. I really like this one. Next, another really cool cover by the same artist, Livio Ramadali, Transformers Robots in Disguise, number 6. Next is Casey Collier cover of Transformers Robots in Disguise, number 32, just showing kind of the price of their war. Next, I love this cover, this Transformers cover for number 47. Just a really cool variant I really like. Transformers Till All Are One is our first Sarah Petri DeRocher cover. Just a really cool cover. Another great cover from Transformers Lost Light, number 12. This Nick Roche cover is just super cool, in my opinion. My favorite cover, maybe of the whole bunch, is with all the characters reflecting in his face mask. Just a really cool cover. And this one I had to put in because it makes me laugh. Starscream playing with his My Little Pony characters getting caught by Megatron. This King Grimlock cover by Cary Nord is just super cool, showing the size of Transformers with people, just showing that intimidation factor. This is a great Optimus cover by Rafael Grassetti that we've been using for all our thumbnail. Just a really cool cover. And then finally, this is kind of our expensive cover, this recent one by Daniel Warren Johnson to kick off this new series. Alright, thank you guys for hanging out with me today. Here, I hope you enjoyed this guide to the key comics, important story arcs, and fun covers for Transformers. Again, as always, leave comments or anything you think I missed in the comments down below. I want to thank you guys for watching, and we will catch you next time. Later.